we did the broadcast for the championship game with Seattle and Carolina. I made a comment in that game that, one thing you could be sure of is that in Detroit there were going to be a number of Steeler fans, and I'm still interested in it. And I said it then as to how well the Seahawks are going to travel for this game. I'm real curious as to see what the discrepancy is between the two fans. I was fortunate enough over my career to have been given the opportunity to play in 3 Super Bowls, and I'm asked a lot, particularly when I come to do these types of things, as far as what it's like preparing for a Super Bowl game and what some of these players are going through. And our first game was in Pasadena. It was following the 1992 season, and it was a good thing for me. We practiced at UCLA that week. That's where I played my collegiate football, and then the game was played at the Rose Bowl. So there was a lot of comfort in my surroundings and the people I was dealing with on a daily basis leading up to the game. So I was able to go into that game, really relatively calm. But I thought one of the best things that Jimmy did that week was the way he prepared our team. And I think that Jimmy Johnson, as far as a coach, I think he had 2 strengths. I think one was his evaluations of talent. We were able to bring in a lot of talented guys, even 7th, 8th round picks. But he also did a heck of a job preparing our team leading up to a game and giving the right message, and so guys would go into the game focused. And I thought that he was at his best the week of that first Super Bowl. And one of the stories that's always stuck with me, and I'll share it with you, was that Jimmy had gotten in front of the team, and we were a young team. In fact, we were the youngest team in the National Football League that year. And so all of us, we had a couple guys that had come from other teams that had experienced the Super Bowl, but for the most part, nobody had. In fact, we had beaten San Francisco in the championship game, and nobody thought we would have won that game. And so Jimmy was up in front of the team, and he asked the question. He says, okay, if I were to take a 2x4, 10-foot long 2x4, and lay it on the ground, lay it right on the ground right here, how many guys think they could walk across the 2x4 without falling off? And, we may not have been the most athletic group in the league, but most everyone felt they could walk across that 10-foot, 2x4 without falling off. So he wanted to show of hands, and everybody raised their hands, visualizing that, saying, that'd be a pretty easy accomplishment. He said, all right, well, now if I take that same 2x4, same 10-foot 2x4, and I raised it 20 stories, and I stretched it between 2 buildings, how many guys think they could walk across that 2x4? And everyone kind of had the same reaction. They started visualizing being up 20 stories, trying to walk across that same piece of wood, and not as many people raised their hands. And so his point was, it's the same 2x4, same distance, same dimensions, everything. The degree of difficulty isn't any harder than what it would be if it was laying on the ground. And it was just whatever the perception of that achievement was going to be in your mind was going to create the degree of difficulty. And so he went on to talk about how the game's still the game. It's still 120 yards long and 53 yards wide, and there's still 11 guys on each side of the ball, and nothing's changed from what we had done the whole time leading up to the Super Bowl. And I think it really struck a chord with our team, and we were able to go out and we played very well. We just dismantled Buffalo. Buffalo